When Hideo Kojima and his newly formed Kojima Productions dropped the Death Stranding trailer, it felt like the internet collectively short-circuited. You know those moments when you're watching something, and you're pretty sure your brain just blue-screened? Yeah, this was one of those moments. I mean, when was the last time you saw Frigin Hannibal Lecter cradling a baby on a beach surrounded by dead sea life? If you felt like, and I quote, a 7-year-old reading a calculus book, trust me, you weren't alone. But here's the thing. That's exactly what made the trailer work. Kojima didn't drop a simple, easy-to-understand reveal. Instead, he threw out a cryptic, beautifully bizarre experience that had everyone asking, what just happened? It wasn't just a game reveal, it was a statement. And for an industry often dominated by action-packed, explosion-heavy trailers, Death Stranding came in and said, "Hold my baby," quite literally. The trailer shattered expectations and rewrote the rules of what a game trailer could be. But how exactly did it pull this off? Let's break it down. Let's face it, trying to decipher the first Death Stranding trailer felt like being dropped into a pop quiz you didn't study for. You've got Mads Mikkelsen, babies, weird handprints in the sand, and all of this while some strange sci-fi beach apocalypse is happening in the background. If you said to yourself, I feel like I'm trying to understand my chemistry paper again, well, join the club. It's like Kojima knew we'd spend the next year drawing up conspiracy boards with strings connecting random theories, trying to make sense of it all. And that's the brilliance of it. Kojima didn't give us a roadmap. He gave us a riddle. By keeping the plot and mechanics under wraps, he sparked one of the biggest online theory fests in recent memory. People loved speculating. Was this about death? Aliens? Some futuristic Amazon Prime delivery service? The trailer was intentionally ambiguous, encouraging fans to speculate and spread the word, which of course created an avalanche of free marketing. Instead of explaining, Kojima invited the world to guess, discuss, and most importantly, talk about the game non-stop. Fans essentially became part of the marketing team. Every theory, every breakdown video, every WTF is happening here thread on Reddit. It all added fuel to the fire. The trailer wasn't just something you watched. It was something you experienced and debated. And that's a masterclass in viral marketing. Now, let's talk about timing. The trailer didn't just drop at some random moment. It was perfectly timed to make maximum impact. In June 2016, at the height of E3, when the world's gaming eyes were glued to their screens, Kojima took center stage. And instead of dropping yet another shooter trailer, cough Modern Warfare cough, Kojima gave us this mysterious fever dream that left us all scratching our heads. The timing of the reveal couldn't have been better. In an era where the gaming industry was saturated with familiar formulas, military shooters, superhero tie-ins, and big-budget sequels, the Death Stranding trailer was like a breath of fresh, albeit confusing air. It gave gamers something new to chew on, at a time when we were hungry for anything different. The bizarre imagery, the emotional music, the sheer weirdness of it all, Kojima knew that the gaming community needed a jolt, and this trailer delivered. What makes this even funnier is that, in hindsight, Death Stranding ended up releasing just before the pandemic hit in 2020. Right when the world started feeling a lot like the game. Carrying essential supplies across barren, isolated landscapes? I mean, Kojima may have been onto something before we even realized it. Coincidence? Maybe. Genius? Absolutely. One of the most memorable aspects of the trailer was how it threw us right into the middle of the action, with zero explanations. It wasn't about mechanics or tutorial pop-ups. We didn't get any of the usual, here's how you jump, here's how you shoot type of breakdowns. Instead, Kojima trusted the surreal imagery and the intense atmosphere to pull us in. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people walked away from the trailer thinking, wait, is this even a game? Kojima didn't spoon-feed the audience. He gave us a taste of the bizarre and left us craving more. And that's where the real power of this trailer lies. Instead of showing us how to play, he made us feel the game before we ever touched a controller. The weird floating figures, the baby, being a baby, the foreboding landscape. It wasn't just about getting us hyped. It was about immersing us in a narrative before we even knew what it was. It's kind of like diving into a David Lynch film. You're not entirely sure what's going on, but you're fully committed to figuring it out. Now let's talk about the music. Remember that haunting, almost ethereal song playing in the background? That was I'll Keep Coming by Low Roar. And if you weren't already feeling a bit uneasy by the end of the trailer, that track probably pushed you over the edge. The music wasn't just there to fill the silence, it was an emotional hammer, hitting you right in the feels. Low Roar's melancholic vocals perfectly matched the mood of the trailer, creating a sense of loneliness and desperation that made the whole thing unforgettable. Choosing the right song for a trailer is like picking the perfect meme to send to your friend. It's gotta hit just right, or it falls flat. Kojima nailed it. The music didn't just enhance the trailer, it became the emotional core of it. You hear that song now, and instantly your brain is back on that eerie beach, staring out at the ocean of dead crabs and beached whales. The song lived in our heads rent-free and added an extra layer of emotional depth that other trailers simply don't reach. And this wasn't just some random song Kojima picked because it sounded cool. Low Roar's music became so intertwined with Death Stranding that it's impossible to separate the two. The music turned what could have been an odd, artsy trailer into an emotional experience, a story we felt connected to before we even knew what it was. Now, here's where things get interesting. We've all seen trailers that look amazing, only for the final product to fall flatter than a soda left out overnight. But Death Stranding wasn't one of those games. Yes, it was polarizing. Some players loved its slow, methodical pace, while others felt like they were stuck in a walking simulator. But it lived up to the trailer's promise. The game was just as strange, emotional, and boundary-pushing as we'd hoped. Those cryptic scenes from the trailer? They weren't just there to trick us into buying the game. They were actual representations of the world and themes we would encounter. Death Stranding didn't mislead us with flashy gameplay, only to give us something totally different. Instead, it delivered on its eerie, mind-bending promise, giving players exactly what the trailer hinted at, a unique experience unlike anything we'd seen before. In a world where trailers often set unrealistic expectations, cough Cyberpunk 2077, Death Stranding was refreshingly honest. It stayed weird, stayed emotional, and stayed true to the vision Kojima had teased from day one. So, did Death Stranding break the gaming industry? Well, in a way, yeah. It changed the rules. It didn't follow the usual formula of action-packed gameplay montages and flashy explosions. Instead, it slowed things down, took a breath, and said, "Here's something weird and emotional. Figure it out." It rewrote the book on what game trailers could do, and since then, we've seen more and more developers taking notes from Kojima's playbook, putting emotion and storytelling front and center. In an industry that can often feel repetitive and formulaic, the Death Stranding trailer showed us that there's room for something new. It pushed the boundaries of what a trailer could be, and in doing so, it set a new standard for the future. So, if you haven't watched the Death Stranding trailer in a while, give it another look. Try not to feel like a 7-year-old staring at a calculus book this time. Let yourself sink back into that sense of awe and confusion. And hey, if this breakdown has you excited about the future of game trailers, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join the conversation. We've got plenty more bizarre, groundbreaking moments to analyze, and we'd love to have you along for the ride. Until then, keep questioning, keep exploring, and maybe go find your own baby on the beach.